If you want, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my annual book unhaul video. I have been dreaming of doing this because if you haven't seen my recent video, I will be building my dream library upstairs. It means that I have to carry all of the books that I have, which is like a few, upstairs. So even if I can get rid of like 20 something, it will be one less strip for me, which I'm sure my legs will be grateful and my arms. So all of these I have read except for continuation of a series that I'm not planning on doing, and I have opinions, so let's get to them. Okay, the first two will be donated to a friend because she wants to read them. I didn't like, well, I was going to say I didn't hate them, but I kind of a little bit. We have the Unhoneymooners and then the Hating Games. These two books are incredibly popular contemporary romance books, and I just got curious. I read these last year, and I just didn't enjoy them. I feel like this one is way worse. I also watched a movie of that one, and the acting was horrible. This one has a trope of like the tiny main character. It's just every time she's mentioned, we have to know that she's a mini tiny girly. And I feel like she was kind of unlikable in this one. I wasn't really rooting for them, probably because of her, which not super common for contemporary romance for me. And then we have the Unhoneymooners, which in that one, the dude is douche. He's a douche. I get that there has to be something that happens to make them not friends, although they do start enemy straight up. But like he made like 3 mistakes in my opinion. And like 1 you can kind of forgive if he makes up for it, but 3, no, he doesn't deserve happiness. So these 2 are super popular and they just didn't work for me, and it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I will let a friend read those. She loves them. Well, she can keep them. The rest will be donated to my library. So another one that was quite popular that I just didn't care for. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I don't get the hype. I was kind of bored the whole time. It is what it is. I can appreciate that there's representation, but like no interest. The next 2 will be joining all the other ones that I've seen at used bookstores. Arlen Coleman. I did a video where I was trying his most popular books to see if they were for me or not. I'm not saying I'm never going to read anything else by him. I think I will try some of his newest work to just compare, because I did feel like there was a lot of improvement between the first one that I read and the second one. I think it was like 5 or 6 years in between, and I think his writing improved a lot, so I'm curious to see. But both of them had like kind of some misogyny in there, which especially this one. But I do think the main character is not supposed to be likable, but like I struggled anyway. They weren't horrible, but they just weren't great. So I think I'm going to try his newest work, and like I said, these will be donated to my library. Let's keep going with mystery thrillers. I have a couple. Frankly, I have not been lucky with mystery thrillers. I've noticed that I tend to prefer whenever they have a little bit of sci-fi in them, which none of these do. And I mean, I've enjoyed some that didn't, but The Dry, which this is probably going to be the one that is the most controversial in the mystery thriller section. Jane Harper, her work just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. I've tried like 3 of her books, and I just felt a bit mad about all of them. It's probably a me thing. I tried the audiobooks, which the narrators all had like Australian accent, which made it very like atmospheric, I guess. It worked with the story because obviously it happens there. But I have no interest. I'm really sad about this one. But someone else will see it at library sale and be very happy. The next 2 I read earlier during a 1 week 1 shelf challenge. Basically, I pick a shelf in a jar and I have to read books from that shelf. And I read these 2 mystery thrillers. Neither of them really worked for me. We have a Familiar Sight, and this cover is absolutely ugly. Straight up ugly in my opinion. I don't even want to own this. I just really didn't care for it. Kind of memorable, and this one was probably worse. And again, that cover is so ugly. Like, what is up with mystery thrillers having like these are 2 very, very ugly covers. Like, I could do this, and I'm bad at Photoshop, you know? Like, these are just, ugh. Anyway, didn't care for the books. Someone else will be happy to find them. They have really good ratings on Goodreads, but neither of them was really something I cared about. The last one I kind of want to keep just because I like the cover and the spine. So I guess it's the downside to pretty covers and spine. Super popular book, The Last Thing He Told Me, which was part of the Reese Witherspoon book club. We read it actually for the Patreon book club, and I feel like the premise is a bit more unique, or the twist is a bit more unique, but like I really struggled to care for the story and the character because of the way she would like put things together. Like it was a jump every time, and it just like, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. So meh. One day, this woman's husband disappears and she's stuck with her stepdaughter who doesn't like her at all, and things happen. Meh. One that kind of breaks my heart also to get rid of is Senlin Ascends. I mentioned last year this was my most disappointing book of the year. I thought I was going to give this 5 stars and I gave it 2. I didn't care for the premise. I've mentioned it so many times, but the whole like woman in the fridge trope, basically something horrible happens to this dude's much younger wife on their honeymoon, and that's what starts the story. I just was bored, frankly. I liked level 2 in the tower, but that was it. The rest just felt aimless, and the idea of reading 3 more books in this series just doesn't appeal to me. So I will be getting rid of this one. It's such a pretty copy. I'm sure someone will be super happy to find it, but not for me, sadly. I love that cover too. I had forgotten I owned this book. Aristotle and Dante discover the secret of the universe. Super popular YA contemporary. I've read a couple of books with a similar like premise of like coming of age YA gay teenage boy, and this is my least favorite. So I don't know why that's the one I own. Didn't care for it. Super popular. Someone again will be super happy to find it. And I'm getting rid of a few books because I found them sexist, and I just don't want to own books like that on my shelves anymore. The first one gets me a lot of hate, but The Last Wish, the first book in the Witcher series, I really, really wanted to read this and love this. I've seen the 2 seasons that are out. First one was better than the second one, but it's straight up the same thing, but you add a shit ton of misogyny. Like every female character is sexually assaulted or like... or a bunch of stuff is said about them. I listed everything on my Goodreads review, and the comment section is a shit show. I just don't want to have that on my shelf. And the second one, I'm getting rid of this series, the Magician series. I've read the first one, The Magician, and then The Magician King. This one was the one I read this year, and there's a scene that is like sexual assault, and it's basically kind of shown as a good thing for the female character. This is the kind of crap that makes me lose my mind. So I don't want to own this. I like the idea of magical school, like for adults. Depressed main character for sure. The first book was fine. Towards the end, it got a little bit like on a tangent for me, but overall it was fine. But then this one just pissed me off. So will not be continuing this series, clearly. And I still own this book, which I like, again, the cover and the spine. This is the only reason. All Are Wrong Today's, which is kind of like time traveling, or is it? No, it's alternate reality. And again, this one also had a little bit of misogyny in there, which like the book is okay, and then you have that in there. So I just don't want to have that on my shelf, even though again, I do think this is a very eye-grabbing spine and cover. And then the one that is a series that I'm not planning on continuing. This one also broke my heart. Leviathan Weeks, which is the first book in the Expense series. I have book 3 and 4 because I really thought I was going to read the whole thing. So I was buying them when I would go to like Value Village. They were much cheaper there. And I thought I was going to binge read the whole thing. And I read book 1 and I was just not impressed. It was kind of boring. Then there was a lot of like cop talk kind of thing. And again, a little bit of misogyny. I love this quote. I was listening to the audiobook when I got to that portion, and it was so bad that I had to pause, come back downstairs, find the page, and put a post-it, because every time I'm just like, what is this? The moon itself, Phoebe, filled the frame, turning slowly to show all sides, like a prostitute at a cheap brothel. I've heard all the excuses. I don't care. It just, it's so bad. Why? And then last but not least, I am getting rid of this one. Again, I forgot I owned this. #girlboss. At the time I read it and it was fine. I guess it's motivating to see someone completely obsessed with working, but I just don't want to own this anymore. So it is going bye-bye. So this is probably the shortest unhaul video I have ever done on this channel, but I've been using my library a lot and I have not been buying books a lot because of the pandemic. However, I am planning on doing 1 or 2, probably 2 unhaul videos where I try the first chapter of books, and the ones that I enjoy I have to finish them if I want to keep them kind of thing, and then the ones I'm not enjoying I have to get rid of. So I think I'm going to do that because I have 2-3 shelves that are full of like especially like YA sci-fi and YA fantasy that I hoarded. Let's be real. I didn't just buy them. I hoarded them when I started BookTube, and I have no interest in reading them, kind of. Like, there's still some hype behind them. I'm still kind of curious, obviously, otherwise they would be gone. But I need to just give myself that kick in the butt so I can actually decide what's going to happen with them. I probably should do that like 10 times in a row. But let's try once or twice. I just want to get rid of a couple more again before I move everything upstairs. So you have that to look forward to. Hopefully that goes well. Wish me luck because I'm going to need this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. Let me in the comment section, what's the last book you've unhauled? Do you even unhaul books? I feel like some people just never get rid of anything, which I used to be like that, but I have limited amount of space, although won't be so much of a problem later, but I don't want to carry them upstairs. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.